Is Buddy Matthews gone from AEW? What about Malakai Black? And if so, who's next? Let's talk about all that and more in today's Wrestling Ramble. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Alright, so starting this off, obviously, we've got to talk about Buddy Matthews, who was recently... A lot of people are saying he's been released. This is stemming from, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful saying he's been told that Buddy Matthews may be done with AEW for a while. And building off of that, Dave Meltzer noted in the Wrestling Observer, saying this about Buddy Matthews. He was on a show in Rhode Island last night and said that he needed to step away and recalibrate, and even mentioned Malakai Black. It was very similar wording to what Black had said when he did that independent show a week or two ago. It's the same situation. How it's being handled and what's going to happen is up in the air, but he's gone for now. Obviously, like Black, they both wanted to leave and they want to go to WWE. They're both under long-term contracts, and we'll see how this plays out. And if you remember, Malakai Black departed. A lot of people in the arena had said, this is what Meltzer was referencing, a lot of people in the arena thought he was saying goodbye. And that was the assumption at first, was that, maybe he's just taking a break. And we talked about this in one of the previous Wrestling Rambles, and of course we've covered it in the news as well, that it came out he got a highly conditional release. He was able to do that independent show not long after that, saying goodbye once again. So Malakai Black is probably going to be able to do more independent shows. He's just going to have some kind of non-compete clause to where he won't be able to go to WWE for a period of time. But going back to Buddy Matthews, and here's where I want to ask you guys the question. Who do you think is going to leave? And we're going to go star to star who I think is going to be heading out. Go over the people that were contacted recently, supposedly by WWE, with the contract tampering, all that stuff. So going back to Buddy Matthews, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, honestly, I think we'll see both Buddy and Malakai back in AEW this year. So there's one hot take for you. Another source that we have on this is Ryan Frederick from the Wrestling Observer. He wrote on a forum saying that there was Black, I believe Matthews as well had asked for their release, but then they said there was unnamed stars that also asked for their release. So that's kind of what I want to get to the bottom of today. Obviously, we've got Black and Matthews in some form or fashion having departed the company, not officially, they're still in a contract, but as Meltzer put it not too long ago, there's not really much Tony Khan can do if they don't want to show up and be a part of AEW and be happy with it, and they'd rather be back in WWE, then that's where they're going to go. Yeah, here's the quote. In addition to Black and an undisclosed number of others asking for their release, several wrestlers were contacted who weren't interested in returning to WWE. Those are the people who alerted Tony Khan and team, which led to AEW's head of legal, Mega Perec, sending a letter to WWE about tampering. And that's what Tony Khan was mad about in the press conference. And you have to think that also kind of flows both ways. You had the reports prior to that, with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega out of action, we got reports that they had sent feelers to WWE. Just for a brief explanation on feelers, obviously no one's going to go through and call up, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks aren't calling up Paul Levesque or Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Nick Khan. That's not happening. They're going through friends, mutual friends that work in the company, and going through the pipeline of wrestlers and talent, or agents, so to speak, to be able to see, hey, y'all still want me? Are y'all interested? My contract's coming up. Whatever it is, and they're not going to disclose key details, and obviously WWE is going to be very professional in trying not to overtly tamper with contracts. So aside from Malakai Black and Buddy Matthews, which they seem to be in the same boat, I feel like we can lump them both together. If I had to put money on it, I'd imagine that they will sit out a good portion of their current AEW contracts for a period of time, maybe a few months, and then they'll come back to the table. Hey, do you still not want to be here? No, I don't. And then after the non-compete, I don't know what their deal is. That's just what I've heard, that it's non-compete to prevent them from immediately going back to WWE. The sentiment that I've also read about in the locker room is that the higher-ups in AEW, the people at the top, are like, let them go. The other thing that was an interesting note, and I hadn't really put too much thought into this either, I'm trying to find the quote as soon as I do. Oh, here we go. Ryan Frederick had wrote, the only guys that really want to go back are the ones who have significant others with the other company. I can think of 3 names. We've already talked about 2 of them. Malakai Black and Buddy Matthews are 2. Malakai Black is obviously with Zelina Vega. She's with WWE. Buddy Matthews is currently in a relationship with Rhea Ripley. She's in WWE. Which brings me to the third star, Andrade. He's with Charlotte Flair. She's with WWE. So, and this might also answer the previous question I had regarding the quote of undisclosed number of others asking for their release. They didn't say who it was. They said in addition to Black and an undisclosed number of others. So we can add Buddy Matthews and Andrade as well. So maybe those are the others that want to be released. Obviously, these are all former NXT stars. They worked with Triple H well, were treated very well under Triple H. And Andrade recently posted an hourglass to Twitter. That was actually today. I'm recording this on the 26th. I could definitely see him going back with that, especially with that information. The ones that have significant others in WWE are the ones that sways my opinion heavily. So moving on, just to recap, I'm thinking Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews, Andrade. I could see all three of those AEW stars eventually going to WWE. Now let's go to another report, and this was from Fightful. They said that besides Black, Swerve Strickland, and FTR, WWE reportedly reached out to them. Oh, and then also, it says WWE reportedly reached out to another unnamed top talent in August. This name has supposedly been with the company since the start. And Fightful's AEW sources were surprised to learn that WWE reached out to them. That's the stumper for me. Who's been with the company since day one that WWE reached out to? You guys are going to have to help me with this one. We'll come back to this in a second. Swerve Strickland, we'll come to him in a second. We'll start with FTR. FTR could definitely go back. Now, I see FTR as very honorable people. Honorable guys, family men. If FTR were going to go back to WWE, they'd finish out their deal with Tony Khan. They're going to be professional and stick with him. I can't see them pulling this kind of stunt. Dax and Cash. They've been treated very well in AEW. The tag team division obviously is taken a little more seriously, I guess, than WWE, and they've definitely been booked better. Of course, they were booked very well in NXT under Triple H, had great matches as the NXT tag champs. I could definitely see, I think their contracts I don't have it pulled up right now, but I think their contracts are up sometime next year. But yeah, FTR is the two people on this list that I have right now that their contracts are coming up soon. Their contract expires, they're done with their AEW deal. That's when they could re-sign with WWE. I definitely don't see them jumping ship and, like I said, doing what Black and Matthews are doing. Swerve Strickland, I could see him staying in AEW, to be honest with you. Whenever Hit Row came back, there were a lot of people calling out Hit Row saying, well, you lost the best wrestler of the group. And Top Dollar was saying, no, it was all three of us. Swerve was added later. He was a good addition, but we don't need him. And I think Swerve might have said something too, but I could see him definitely wanting to stay in AEW. And when his contract is up, I could see him re-signing. Of course, I definitely can't see him pulling a Matthews or a Black, or maybe even To Be Soon and Andrade. Miro, that's someone we touched on this in the news today, that Miro is not interested in going back to WWE per the Wrestling Observer's Ryan Frederick. And that's another side topic question I wanted to ask. But as I pointed this out earlier, was that there were AEW stars that went to Tony Khan and said, hey, I just got a feeler sent to me through so-and-so. This is what's happening. Obviously, Malakai Black and Buddy Matthews, maybe Andrade, they're out of that conversation. I could see FTR going to TK and saying, hey, because they're very professional. I could even see Swerve Strickland doing that, possibly even Miro. I feel like Miro could go back to WWE, but it'd be another case of how I'd see FTR going back, finishing out the contract, and then going. Miro just hasn't been up to much, and he's criticized his booking a good bit online too. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all of these. Let me know what you think about Miro too, if he's staying or going. And then next two, I'd go ahead and I guess put these together would be Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Going back to the significant other thing, Adam Cole's with his significant other Britt Baker in AEW, so that's even less of a reason to go back now. O'Reilly is hurt, right? He had a bad neck injury, and Cole's still out. Yeah, obviously they're not going to be going back when they're injured. man, I don't even know if I see O'Reilly and Cole going back for a while. I think they're locked in till like 26 or 2027 or something. And then there was a report that Bobby Fish had urged them to quit here it is. Frederick wrote this too. I posted in the Bobby Fish thread, but I know Fish was trying to get them, Cole and O'Reilly, to ask for their releases to go back to WWE, and they both told him no. It's possible Cole may have clued Tony in. If he did, I doubt he was the only one. I'm sure Swerve was one of them who did so. Now, hold on to that, because Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful would say, a popular dark Twitter internet rumor was that before Bobby Fish had asked Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly to leave All Elite Wrestling with him to go back to WWE, it was vehemently denied by numerous AEW sources, and WWE sources have stated that there haven't been talks between Bobby Fish and the company. Now, WWE is saying there's no official talks with Bobby Fish. That's probably true. Were there feelers sent to Bobby Fish through the channels that we spoke of? Probably. And Bobby Fish just recently appeared in Impact Wrestling. He's out of AEW. We don't need to speculate much on that. He's probably going to go back, isn't he? But tell me, what do you guys think? We've got, so on the list of people that I have, we've got Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews. Those two are almost a certainty to go back to WWE. Let me know what you guys think. I think Malakai Black, Buddy Matthews, Andrade is very close to that as well. I could see FTR going back after their contracts are finished up. Swerve Strickland, not so much. I could see him sticking around and re-signing with AEW. I could see Miro re-signing too, but I could also see him wanting to go back. Obviously, with the significant other argument that's faded for Miro, as it is with Adam Cole. Lana's not with WWE, so there's no reason for him to go back for that. And then, of course, Cole and O'Reilly, both injured. So who do you think is leaving AEW next? Are they looking to jump to WWE? And also, be a little more specific when you're giving the answers, because I think FTR more than likely will go back to WWE, but they're going to finish out their AEW deal. Do you see Andrade pulling the same stunt as Malakai Black and Buddy Matthews? Let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you later.
Alright guys, good evening. You know, there's nothing I want to do less right now than going live, but especially in a time where I'm supposed to take care of myself and take care of a lot of things in my private life. But you know, some people some people can't seem to just shut the up and create things that are not there, so I have to go out here again and well, have a conversation with you guys here. All right, so guys, how many times do I have to tell people, if you can't even get the years of my contract right, which is a very minuscule detail, then how are you expecting, or how are people expecting that these guys know very intimate and private detailing in regards to my private business? My contract's not 5 years. My contract's never been 5 years. Like, again, this is all bullshit. It's all lies. So, you know, I posted a statement, and even if you've, of course, all of you have read my statement, because even if you read my statement, it clearly reads that even release is in quotations. Now, if you don't know what quotation means, it means that the author does not agree with said quote or said word choice, or it also means that it's not his wording. Then it is followed by a bunch of multiple things in regards to my merits and all stuff, but it even says that my stuff about my conditional release, that it's false. So how are you guys still thinking, why are people still writing that I've got my release? Guys, I don't know how like, why do you trust these people to tell you the truth? Because it's not true. Because, like, my God. Again, guys, stop believing these things. Like, it is unbelievable to me. Anyway, I will see you guys in a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months. Like I said, I'm only taking some time off. That's it. Just taking some time off. That's it. There's no conspiracy to this. Just taking some time off. All right? I will see you guys soon. Take care of yourself. Stop believing any other narrative. Like right now, I've debunked it. There's nothing going on. Don't believe these people. Yeah? Don't write opinion. Don't believe it. Nothing. I'm fine. I'm going to be fine. Everything is fine. You'll see me right back with AEW pretty soon. I'm just going to take some time. That's it. And guys, last thing before I leave, don't make me some instrument for this whole tribalism, us versus them thing, because I don't do that stuff. I don't do the whole Team AEW versus Team W. I don't play that.